Now we understand socials can be bad, right? Attention spans, we get trapped in it, lose communication, but where are we moving forward? I mean, let's just look at it in the last 10 years. Facebook, how big it's become. Instagram came out in the 2010 decade, and think about how big it is now. So again, your presence in the social media aspect is going to be very, very important, regardless of whatever you do. Whatever kind of job you do, you can actually make it a niche and use it as an educational platform moving forward. So for somebody like myself, right, just doing sales or consulting, I use it just to talk about crypto, right? Get more people exposed to crypto. And I mean, I got over 2,000 followers in a matter of a month just on TikTok. Now I know a lot of us don't like TikTok, right? It's for little kids, whatever it is, but it's about how you use it, right? It's about how you use it. Again, it's free. It's basically free. Think of it this way. It's a free way of literally marketing yourself. You don't have to pay an agency. You don't have to pay a person to go out there and market for you. You can do it all by yourself with your complete freedom. Bailey, next slide, please. And again, it has a lot of effects just on our overall societal lives. So whether it's psychological, or like I said, building equity or building trust. So what a lot of people fail to recognize is that you have to build trust with your community and your consumers. Right? It's not just, hey, just go buy this because I think you should buy it. You gotta build trust, build that connection. Because that is what is not only gonna get them to purchase, but it's also what's gonna get them to stay long term. Right? You gotta have this trust and involvement with your community, as well as developing loyalty, and do they see value out of it? Because if you develop a form of trust, they're going to actually see the intrinsic and extrinsic value, and then communicate it with their peers, right? People amongst here, or let's just say you're out and about on a boat or at some convention, and you're like, hey man, like I see the things you're doing on Instagram, I love it. You're really putting out a lot of great information out there. You've actually helped me a lot with every post that you've made, and it's really what got me, let's say, into crypto, what we're talking about here. And then, that's how they start communicating with their friends, because unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but a lot of people make their decisions based off of what their friends do, right? They follow the cream of the crop. So, if you can have that social impact, not only in your community, but amongst your friends with whatever you're doing, then it's going to make, whatever product or brand or value that you're trying to add, make it that much more easier. Bailey, next slide. So again, it just comes down to three things: perceived brand quality, loyalty, and trust. Next slide. So again, the quality is just going to come down to, can you satisfy their needs and requirements, whatever it is. So for all of you here, it's about crypto. Everyone wants to learn about crypto and make more money in crypto and dominate the market. So our goal, like I said, is can we satisfy those requirements and needs for you? Can we allow you guys to double, triple, 10x your portfolio from where you're at, but at the same time teach you how to become self-sufficient? Because we don't want you to rely on us 24/7, because there's only so much that we know and that we can do. So again, it's also teaching you how to be able to do this on a day in, day out basis, as I'm sure some of you heard who are in the course, right? Teach you how to fish, right? So that's one of the aspects of quality that you're trying to do with the brand or social currency. And again, once you develop that form of quality, it's going to have a lot of impact on the consumer making the decision processes. So do they want to stay longer? Do they want to resubscribe? Do they want to purchase additional content? So quality obviously goes a long way. The loyalty, right? Can you actually force the consumer, not necessarily force, but influence them to be very loyal, to think that you are the one, that they don't need anything else? And then the trust, right? Do they trust you that you're going to educate them to their highest potential? Do they trust you that you actually are proficient in your specific niche or community? So again, just to wrap it up, it's all going to come down to a lot of the socials that we do, but also, again, how are you affecting people in every day-to-day life? Are you actually positively influencing them, or are you just kind of giving them something that they can keep themselves fed and satisfied for a short period of time? Now, what's really cool with social currency is that it doesn't have to come down to how people perceive you or your product anymore. It's not going to be the perceived value. Because again, what's really been found cool with the study that Alex made all of us read of social currency, at the very, very end of the discussion, is that it actually does say that brand perceived value does not affect purchase intention. And that's why social currency is important, is that, back in the day, people would, look at something and make their decision from there. Is this something that's, actually valuable or not? Versus now, social currency, you're actually more getting into, let's say, a brand or product or some sort of company because of, let's say, the leaders or the development team or, the people backing the project versus whatever it is that they're, providing to the community at that moment. And then later on, that is where you derive your value, because then you actually learn what it is that they're providing. And then, sorry, I lost my page here. Now, and like I was just saying, it's not come down from how something looks, sounds, or feels, but again from the social influence it's going to have on the consumer, and then what the consumer themselves can do with that, let's say, brand or product. So next page again, Bailey, please. So obviously some key people that we have up here, Gary Vee, whether Kylie, Drake, Elon, Logan Paul, Floyd, LeBron. Like I was saying, a lot of these people, like Drake, for instance, he started off with music, and now he's got, his own clothing line. He's got even a record label. So, music was what allowed him to build trust with his community. And now a lot of people are actually seeing him past the music, right? They're seeing that, he's an entrepreneur. He can actually help people in the community. Like we said, Elon Musk, started with, PayPal, then got into now space exploration, wants to occupy Mars, all that good stuff. Again, the social currency that we have, and a lot of people, you have your, Elon followers, they're going to do whatever Elon says. That's a form of social currency. That's the power that he has. Floyd Mayweather, look at Logan Paul, right? I don't know how many of you know about him. Started off as a Viner, as a YouTuber. He doesn't do YouTube anymore. Like, when's the last time he made a YouTube video? Because his social currency is now transcended into boxing. And that's why a lot of these other, let's say, YouTubers, they're transcending into boxing. They have this big following that they developed because of, let's say, making Vines, TikToks, gaming on the internet. And now they're using the social currency in the community that they've built, and they're going into another form of business. Travis Scott, and clothing is a major one, and Kim Kardashian's always helping. Gary Vee, hustle culture, right? Hustle all that we can. Again, he developed a big following. He started with what? With was it wine text, or on YouTube making a wine library? Again, developed that following, and now that following, the social currency he had on those wine people, it helped him, start his next venture into, developing a social media company. VaynerMedia, and then doing all these keynotes, hustling, and all that good stuff. So, again, my goal here is let's just get on socials, right? Develop some sort of currency that we can that is going to make you unique. Because again, this later on in life, like I don't know how many of you watched Black Mirror on Netflix? Probably just maybe some of it, yeah. So there is an episode in Black Mirror where literally I think it was based in China if I remember right. They actually give you a physical number with how much influence you have in the world and the community around you. Again, it's all based on futuristic stuff, but some of it is really not that far-fetched. And actually China recently, well not recently, but in the last year or so, they're actually starting to go into like a social currency aspect. And what they're doing is they literally, obviously it's a communist regime, but they track every single thing you do and say. And if obviously you do and say things that are very positive and pro-government, we're going to get a lot of good benefits like cheap airline tickets, great internet speed, free transportation. And then if you're doing things that are speaking against, let's say, the state or the government, they actually negatively influence you. So they give you higher fares, lower internet speed. So that is a form of social currency, but that's one way where they're being controlled all the way. Versus again, the whole episode was just talking about how later on, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to have a social currency score, and it's really not going to come down to your per se what it is that you're providing to the community, but what kind of influence you have in the community. Can you move a small group of people or a large group of people instantaneously and swiftly? And that's why you have a lot of collaborations that happen, whether it's in design, sports, politics, whatever it is. It's more coming down to the social currency. How are they able to affect their community versus whatever it is that they're actually providing physically with their brand or company. But I thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. It's very hot up here. I know I'm doing well, but it's hot up here. I think the point Marty was trying to touch on, the rejection, if you guys are watching the chart, can you pull up a chart of like the Bitcoin's price? Just pull up Bitcoin's price. It's gonna hit it home. Marty had a point. Just real quick, pull up Bitcoin's price. Cryptocurrency, regardless of how good you guys feel about it, right? There's a product, right? It feels great when they tell you about this, and that, this DeFi protocol, arbitrage, AI, buzzwords. At the end of the day, regardless if you know it or not, I need TradingView. Pop open TradingView. Regardless of what you think, at the end of the day, it's 95% speculation. I don't care what you guys think. It's all speculation, marketing, and just to bring the point home, social currency. There's guys, think about it, right? There's guys that have influence over your bank account. Not only do they have influence over it, but they can also see it
and they have data and analytics tools to track it. So I think what Marty was trying to hit home here is he was really trying to hit home in the fact that take the power back, right? Social media is scary. It's for young kids. I get it. But at the end of the day, somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is going to take the attention. Take the power back. It's like high school, right? Okay, we're gonna be talking about how to exit and not pay taxes in Puerto Rico, correct? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, so if you want to not pay taxes, Bailey's going to be the next person up. How to save all of your money from the government so that they don't take the money and the profit that you made, okay? Just let me know when you're ready. Oh, just really quickly. If you see that right there, that was people manipulating you. So wait, pull it on the 4-hour. Put it on the 4-hour. This is the power of social currency. Put it on the 4-hour. So I've been talking about this on my YouTube channel, and this requires a little bit, I would say, of technical knowledge. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. There you go. This works? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's over now. It's over now. All right, look, right here. You guys see that right there? That was Elon Musk's tweet. Right there. That drove the price down. What percentage was that? What percentage was that? Grab the ruler. Yeah, let's get it. Right there. Boom. You can do that. No, right here, right here. Right there. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Right there. Right there. 12%. This asset, as you guys know, is $1 trillion asset. The man does not own Bitcoin, but he can manipulate the price at will. So let's start spreading it, and I'm gonna elaborate on this in my presentation. So let me just stop talking. Bailey, come on, let's go.
So my name is Bailey Zong. I am the Chief Financial Officer at Fundamental Secrets, and so I'm gonna be talking about how to reduce taxes permanently. And next slide. Okay, disclaimer, this is not financial advice and it's only for educational purposes. Thank you so much. Next slide. Okay, the agenda for today, we're gonna talk about a cash flow quadrant, crypto taxes, real estate, and then a really cool like Puerto Rico tax incentives. Okay, so starting off, next slide. So this is the cash flow quadrant. It's from Tax Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. And you can see there's the employee, like W-4 employees, and then there's like self-employed people, business owners, and then investors. So as an employee and a self-employed, on the left side of this chart, those are the people who get taxed the most. Because like employees, you have to pay the self-employment tax, which is like 15.6%. And then as a self-employed, you still have to pay the self-employment tax. And then you can't leverage your time, like you are your own limiter. Like if you only have 10 hours in a day, you can only work 10 hours. You can't use anybody else. You don't have any employees. You are your own limiter. But if you're a business owner, you can hire employees. You can leverage your time. You can build up people and build up systems that will make you money while you sleep. You aren't eliminating, like you are not your sole worker. And then if you're an investor, you use money to make yourself more money. Like you invest in something, passive income your way into like more and more gains. And so these people, they don't pay a self-employment tax and they get like benefits from the government because they incentivize these activities. So for example, like I think 37% is the biggest tax bracket for people who make like over $500,000. But then as an investor, the biggest tax bracket, if you hold your asset for more than a year, is 20%. That's like 17% less. And so basically you want to be on the right side. You want to be a business owner. You want to be an investor. Those are where like the biggest tax benefits are. Next slide. So here, as an employee or a self-employed person, you can't leverage your time. You are your own limit. You are the person like holding you back. But on the right, as a business owner or an investor, you can like make money in your sleep. You can use other employees. You can make money while you like aren't working. So there's lots of business deductions for it. You know, like entertainment, like food expense, and then like equipment, research and development. There's also long-term capital gains tax, which is lower for people who are investing over like the long term, like over a year. And then like if you think about it, instead of like paying tax, let's say you have to buy $1,000 of machine equipment, right? Well, you can either spend that money and buy it to increase your business and increase the profitability of your business, or you could just like not spend it. But if you spend it, you get a tax deduction. Like if you're in the highest tax bracket, if you get like 30% off, so it's just like 30% coupon. As long as it's like an ordinary and necessary expense for your business, like you invest in yourself, and the government wants to incentivize these activities for you to be able to like grow your business, help employees, like build jobs, and so be on the right side basically if you want to like eliminate a lot of your taxes. Next slide. So in terms of crypto taxes, because like Fundamental Secrets is a crypto company, just like some clarification. If you trade like Bitcoin for Ethereum, or if you trade Bitcoin for US dollars or some other fiat currency, that is a taxable event. Like even if you're trading Bitcoin to Ethereum, I'm sorry, that's still taxed. Any profit that you make ever is usually taxed. But if you transfer, like if you have Bitcoin in one wallet and you have another wallet and you just transfer it to like another account, that's not taxed. You're not making any money, you're just transferring assets. So you're only taxed on profit. Like there's this misconception that you're taxed on your principal, but you're taxed only on profit. So let's say you made $100 and then that built up to $10,000. And let's say you had like $50 in transaction fees. Well, you'll be taxed on $10,000 minus the $100 cost basis, like what you originally invested in, minus the $50 transaction fees. And so this is the amount that the government will tax you on. This is your profit, right? So let's say you had this long-term asset, you've held it for more than a year, and so that's taxed at 20%. So 9,850 times 0.2 equals 1970. That would be the amount of tax you would owe, the 20% tax to the government. And then if you happen to like have it less than a year, then you pay your ordinary tax rate. So I don't know, if you happen to make like over $1 million or something, you'll be taxed at like 37%. And so this would be 0.37, that would be your tax. But that's how it works. You're only taxed on profit. And then if you happen to like make a lot more money, there's also an additional 3.8% net investment income tax. So basically like taxed on profit, and you can deduct any fees that you accumulated so that you can reduce your taxable profit. So that's how crypto taxes work. That's also how stocks work, and that's how like most investments work in terms of taxes. You're taxed only on your profit. So a really cool way, like I know we're talking about cryptocurrency, but also like real estate is a really great way to lower your taxes because you can leverage your money. So let's say you put down 20% for $1 billion house. So you put down $200,000 to get a mortgage. You can depreciate the cost of your investment over 27.5 years. And so this would be another tax deduction. So like over the long run, if you bought a property, now you get to deduct the price of the property. You're not even selling it really. You're just saying like, oh, let's take a $20,000 deduction because you can depreciate your property over time because houses over time like get devalued. And so that can offset any gains that you had. So for example, if you had like $100,000 in profit from investing in cryptocurrency, if you have some real estate and depreciate that value, you could like deduct $20,000 off depending on how much your property is worth. And so you only pay $80,000 in tax. So using real estate is really cool because you can offset your other gains in other fields just by holding the property and over time depreciating the asset. And then if you happen to like want to go into more into real estate and such, there's a 1031 exchange. So let's say you have like a house that you bought for $1 million and then appreciate in value to like $1.5 million and you want to buy a new house. Well, you think you would just sell your house and like buy the new house with the new money that you earn. But you can do a thing called a 1031 exchange, and instead of like being taxed on any profit that you did from selling, you can do a like in kind exchange. And so that $1 million, you bought a new house for $1.5 million because it appreciated in value over time. So you don't owe any taxes from selling your property and buying a new property. Like you don't have to pay that $500,000 extra in tax because you did something called a 1031 exchange. You're exchanging one asset for another one, and in real estate you can do that. And so like a lot of people do that so they don't have to pay tax on any profit they made. It's like a really useful like tax incentive that has been given. And then if you need the money, you can always take out equity from your house, so like the ownership in your house, and just like get more cash from the bank. And that won't be taxable because you're taking out a loan. Like you don't get taxed on loans, so that way if you need money, you can just like take out equity and build more cash flow. And then if you happen to die, which hopefully you don't, but like let's say you bought like a $1.5 million house and then you're dead. But like, and you made like $500,000 in profit, but you're dead. So it doesn't really help you, but it can help your children, because if you give it to them, the market value of the house at the time of your death, 1.5 million, becomes the new cost basis of which your asset is. So instead of buying the house for like $1 million before, you actually bought it to your children at 1.5 million. So if they sold the house, they owe no tax on any profit because it increases to the market value at the time of death of the person that you gave, like the person that died and you inherited their wealth. So that's like a stepped up basis. That's what's that called. And so that's just like another cherry on top of owning real estate and being able to like provide for your children who don't have to pay the tax that you had to pay because there's a stepped up basis in the tax law. So real estate, this is a really good way basically to help lower your taxes. So yeah, next slide. Okay. Oh, I just gave up this example. Yeah, die, step-up basis, children tax 0%, and then this is just appreciation, like how to do some calculations and make sure, like I would explain this. So next slide. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is not a US state, it is a commonwealth, and so commonwealths get some leeway with the government because they're not a state. So next slide. Okay, so Puerto Rico, it's been hurt a lot. Natural disasters, high unemployment, and even bankruptcy. Really sucks. So the government of Puerto Rico wanted to incentivize people to move there, and especially businesses. So there's two, it's called the Act 60. There was two separate provisions, one for the individual investors and one for like export businesses, so like businesses. Used to be called Act 22, used to be called Act 20, but now it's called Act 60 as of 2020. So next slide. So as an individual, if you move to Puerto Rico, you get 100% tax exemption, as in you don't pay tax on dividends, interest, short and long-term gains. And that involves cryptocurrency, stocks, and many other investments you make. You won't have to pay any tax. You're still taxed if you're an employee. Again, remember left side of the chart, employees, self-employed people, they still get taxed a lot. But if you move to Puerto Rico and actually move, they've been cracking down on it actually. So if you actually move to Puerto Rico, you would pay 0% tax on if you made $1 million in crypto, well, you get to keep $1 million. Isn't that great? Next slide. So, there's applications and legal work. So 100% tax exemption on all this fun stuff, all this passive income that you're making. And then there's there's basically a lot of fees, and then you have to make a $10,000 annual donation to the Puerto Rican government, and you also have to do a $5,000 renewal application. So the cost is $15,000 per year. So, if you're making if you made $1 million, $15,000 doesn't really matter to you, right? But you have to make sure it's smart for you. It's up to your discretion. I made a little calculator on the course, and I added a financial literacy section and reducing taxes and blah 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 blah. So you can look at the calculator and see if it's worth it for you, and see if is it actually worth it for you to move to Puerto Rico if you made enough money. But next slide. Okay, so just say, don't cheat it. Actually be there. You have to be there for 183 days per tax year. And you also have to move everything over to there. And you probably want to, there's a closer connection test. So move your family, move your banking, vote in Puerto Rico, actually move there in order to qualify for these incentives. Because I think recently in 2021, they allocated more money to making sure people weren't cheating the system, because a lot of people would cheat the system. So yeah, be smart. Next. You can also move your business over to Puerto Rico too, as long as it's service-based business that exports out of Puerto Rico, which is a really all-encompassing term. Like that can include research and development, advertising, public relations, consulting services, call centers. So anything that exports outside of Puerto Rico, like if you have customers and sell it to the United States, to Germany or whatever, you will qualify as an eligible business, and you would just make an application at the single business portal. Next slide. So the business incentive is that you get a 4% corporate tax rate instead of like the 21% in the US among like states. There's a state corporate tax rate and stuff. So basically, instead of being taxed at a higher rate in the United States, if you move your business over to Puerto Rico, you actually get a 4% corporate tax rate. And then you get a 100% tax exemption on distributions to shareholders. And then there's a 50% tax exemption on municipal taxes. And this grant is for 15 years. So once you make the application, it's valid for 15 years. And they can't change it because you made a contract with the government. Okay, so yeah, that was a presentation by me. So, anyone have questions? Yes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So if you move your business to Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
does your business have to be there for a certain amount of time as well? Like how like you have to actually
So
be there?
it's recommended that you be there for at least 3 years, but technically, you can just move your business and be there for a year, technically. But it looks more legitimate if you like actually stay there for at least 3 years. And you would also like move your business, but in order to get the most tax benefits, you would also move as a person to Puerto Rico and become a resident. That's sort of like where you get even more benefits. And also what the Puerto Rican government does, it has these things called like approved like promoters or something. And so like, for example, P Relocate is one of them. And so they'll do all the paperwork for you and you don't have to pay them because the government pays them for incentivizing you. And that's like the business application. So if you wanted to move to Puerto Rico, you could get P Relocate and use their services and it'll be free. You still have to pay the application fees, but the legal work and all that will be covered by them because the government pays them. And then as an investor, you have to do that on your own. Like P Relocate also does that for you, but like the tax incentive was really built for businesses to move. But to get the most out of it, you would also have to move as well, and recommended for 3 years, recommended.
These slideshows, we're gonna send it to you guys as well. So you'll be able to like comb through it with a fine brush. And if there's anything you missed, I know the sound's a little bit off, you can like figure it out. There's one thing I wanted to add to that, to give you guys a heads up. Did he say this? I don't know if he said it, but you only have to be in Puerto Rico half the time. So you can fly back to the States and I don't know, take a private jet. There's a lot of ways to get around it, but that's what a lot of people have been doing. And they are cracking down, but I heard it's pretty lenient from what I understand. Another thing I wanted to say, for the tax benefit, and maybe it went over your head, but I want you to think about like Michael Saylor and these big billionaires. Why are they putting Bitcoin now on their balance sheet? Why are they doing this? The reason they're doing this is because they have a choice to make. If you know what the consumer price index is, it's basically a way to calculate inflation. Inflation's rising. They have a choice to make. Should I keep USD on the balance sheet, or should I put an appreciating asset like Bitcoin and then take a loan out on Celsius for 1% and then use that tax-free to pay my employees? It's a no-brainer. So for yourself, don't sell your crypto, especially if you have Bitcoin and you're in it from the long haul. If you're in it for the long haul, take a loan out, like I did, and then get yourself a Tesla. Get yourself a Tesla with the loan. But yeah, all right. So we have our next one up. What are we doing, Josh? You're gonna hack something? You're gonna hack something? Okay, this is our CTO. He creates all our applications. He's currently developing blockchains. He's made multiple applications. We're gonna get deep. I know you guys wanna talk about price all the time. It's all about the money, but this guy is gonna get deep on the blockchain side. You must understand the technology to really get a grasp of why you're here. Because when the market dumps, what do you have to show for it? if it's all about the money, you just lost 40% of your money, right? He's gonna dive deep on the actual technical side of the equation. So give it up for Josh.
My name is Josh, as y'all just heard. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Fundamental Secrets LLC. I figured let's just start this off with a Kahoot. How many of you all heard of Kahoot before? Okay, we got some hands, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 5 questions on the basics of cryptocurrency. Sorry for you all who are new to the space, but if you do win, you'll get a $50 value, a free month of Parabolic Trades, which is our Discord server that gives out signals. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so let's get this started. Bailey, can you please press classic? All right, first question coming up. Yep, we got a free month of Parabolic Trades, $50 value. What is the maximum total supply of Bitcoin? Got unlimited, 21 mil, 50 mil, or 6 mil? We'll see. Okay, yeah, 21 mil is the right answer. Sorry for 2 of you. But let's continue. So far we got Steven winning. Where's Steven at? Okay, you guys see your number 1 right now. You gotta beat him. Let's go. What is the maximum total supply of Ethereum? Tricky. We got same as last time, unlimited, 21 mil, 50 mil, or 6 mil. And 1. Correct answer, unlimited. All right, we got a few more people. Bailey's winning. Let's not let that happen, guys. What is inside a block on the blockchain? We got list of passwords encrypted, list of miners, list of blocks connected by chain links. Who knows that could be it? Or list of transactions. All right. Let's let this see. Oh, we got David. Where's David at? We got David, number 1. Let's see. What is the name of the person who founded Bitcoin? Now read this carefully, guys. I'll give you a hint. It's not the green tree or the green tea tree. It's Nakamoto. All right. David's still holding the lead. Okay. Let's go. Who owns the most amount of Bitcoin in the world? All right. Winklevoss twins. We got Elon Musk, Satoshi Nakamoto, or person is unidentified, and that means none of the above. Ooh. Let's see who won. Drum roll. All right. Bailey's already in just in the Parabolic Trades. We're canceling him out. He can't win. No fair. He's too smart. So we got David. David, come meet us after this to get you a free month of Parabolic Trades, man. Congratulations. All right. Now can you please open up the slides? I'm going to talk a little about probably the biggest hack on the blockchain for one individual person. You guys probably heard of hacks. Here, 1 second. 1 second. So in 2020, there was 122 hacks on the blockchain. Now, of course, it's not as easy as it sounds, but there was 122, which took about $4 billion worth of USD in 2020 alone. Making that math, 4 billion divided by 122, about $33 million per attack. So it kind of is nice to know how to protect yourself in this environment. So let's go look at one particular case. Let's look at that in the next slide, baby. So you said, is that an attack against people themselves? So is it an attack against people or the network? So that is all of the blockchains combined, and it's more so on either a centralized exchange, right? One of three things. A centralized exchange, which is like, let's say Coinbase, right? Decentralized exchange, which I don't know who uses Uniswap out here. You got some Uniswap users? Okay. Or a person themselves, right? Their blockchain wallet, like MetaMask, right? So one of those three, exactly. One of those three. So over here we got not Elton John, that's Michael Turpin. He's the CEO of Transform Group, Big Angels, and longtime cryptocurrency investor. This man is a very, very smart man, but one day he wasn't. One day he lost about $24 million, and let's get into that in the next slide. So here we have Michael Turpin chilling in his Las Vegas home office in Nevada. He thought his phone was secure. Let's take a look at how it wasn't. So here we have the hacker. Now the hacker, they were 2,600 miles away, meaning a 38-hour drive. They wanted to go from Connecticut all the way down west to Las Vegas. So how was Michael tricked, right? So Michael had, the hacker, I guess, hacked Michael's phone carrier. So let's say, you, sir, you're the closest. You, sir, what's your name?
Mike.
Mike? All right, Mike. What's your carrier, your phone carrier? T-Mobile. Okay, so what the hacker did was they went to, I guess in your case, if they were hacking you, they went to T-Mobile. They essentially did a SIM swap, which we'll look at that later on, pretty much saying your SIM card is not of use to your phone, your SIM card is now mine. So we took over the other person's SIM card, essentially allowing him to use their phone, their email, their messages, anything he has saved on his phone was completely accessible by the hacker. So now, can that be reversed? Can that $24 million that Michael Turpin used be reversed? The sad but short answer to that question is no. Everything on the blockchain is irreversible. And sadly, that's the reality Michael Turpin had to live in. Let's go to the next slide. So what is a SIM swap and how can it be avoided? So again, a SIM swap is just taking your phone, the SIM card that essentially tells your phone, hey, my name is Mike, I have the phone number, whatever, and everything you have downloaded on your phone. So what they did was that they simply just took Mike's SIM card and just made it someone else's, okay? Now, how can this be avoided? 2 words, cold storage. We're gonna wanna have all of our public addresses, private addresses, everything offline. This includes like a paper wallet, right? We can go to a website, bitaddress.org. We can download that software and then generate our own BTC address and save it so it doesn't access the internet one time, right? It doesn't access the internet one single time. So now he's asking about the thumb drives, the Trezor wallet, the Ledger, things like that. So that kind of works as an intermediary between your phone, your computer rather, and the internet. So it is very, very secure, but because it's on the internet, because it's interacting with the internet, it has its vulnerabilities. So again, a Trezor is good to use. It's probably better than keeping it on like Coinbase, for example, or MetaMask. But again, cold storage is the only way to 100% guarantee that we have no one hacking our account, right? All our money. So again, we'll use cold storage. Now, a hot storage is the opposite of cold storage. It is when your wallet is online, and that's an example of that is Coinbase, MetaMask, whatever you all use. But again, paper storage, paper cold storage is the best. Bailey, next slide, please. So what if I want to use my phone to, which is where he got hacked, all that $24 million was hacked off of his phone. This was on his computer, this was on his laptop. So what if I want to use my phone to trade cryptocurrency and not, be taken advantage of by a hacker in Connecticut? So I have everything to protect your devices, as well as your laptop, things like that. I made my own course in week 3 of Fundamental Secrets. For anyone who's in the course right now, just go there. I highly recommend you rewatch that because, of course, you want to protect all your assets. But yeah, guys, that's all for this. I appreciate you all. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you.
All right, don't get hacked. If you get hacked, and then I can tell you. All right, guys, could you guys do a feedback survey? Take your cameras out. It's just a camera app. Point it at it real quick for me. Just really quick for me. I remember the last time I did an event, I was actually in my dad's house right there. You guys see a beautiful man right there? I was with him in my parents' house doing this in 2017, and now we have a full warehouse and a whole community, and I would not be surprised if in the next couple of months, we rent something out. It's gonna be bigger than the Bitcoin convention. So if you could do me a favor and contribute to that by just filling out the survey here, and then I'll get into the final conversation, and then we can just get drunk, all right? All right, you're getting drunk, right? All right, guys. All right, let's pull up Bitcoin's price. This is gonna be a freestyle. I wanna get the energy from the crowd. I don't know if you guys are experts. I don't know if you're a beginner. I'm gonna fill in the gaps, okay? We're gonna fill in the gaps today, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get super crazy. I'm gonna show you guys how to make money in any market, okay? Any cryptocurrency market. Doesn't matter if there's a bear run. The bear run is a limiting belief in the head, okay? That's all it is. I promise you, if you stick it out long enough, you're gonna make money no matter what. Let's pull up Bitcoin's price. Raise your hand if you know what a private address is and a public address. Raise your hand if you know what a private key is. Raise your hand. Private key? Private key? What is that, like half? Or we could ask this a different way. If you've never did anything in cryptocurrency, raise your hand. I want to gauge it, okay? So we have some beginners. If you've been in cryptocurrency for less than 6 months, raise your hand. Okay? And then where's my veterans at? If you've been in for like 2-3 years plus. Okay. So you guys are semi-good. There's a couple of things I want to talk about because I was thinking about it. I was like, all right, what should I make? What should I present that's not on my YouTube channel? As you guys know, I'm an educator on YouTube. I give away a lot of free stuff on there. You can learn a lot from that channel. The thing is, though, when it comes to strategy is a long-term thing. So right now, there's really not too much I can actually teach you in less than 30 minutes that's gonna make a significant benefit on your life. It's not the way it works. It's usually an effect over the long run, an amplification as well as, I guess you can say, the momentum of you doing something for a long period of time. So I had to think, like, what was gonna be the thing that really, what's the thing that stays with these people for the long run? And I think it's explaining a factor that a lot of people don't take in consideration in cryptocurrency. This is all people see, like legitimately, this is anyone ever sees. If you're not in cryptocurrency, the only reason you know about it is because your friend bragged about it. That's the only reason you know about it. It's all about the price. Is it gonna go up? Is it gonna go down? What's the price of Bitcoin? How much money did you make? That story where someone turned $5,000 into $50,000. It's all money-based, right? It's literally in the name. It's a cryptocurrency. But what people miss, they miss this one element right here. And it's, I think, the most crucial thing. It's actually not, except for Bitcoin, I'm talking about the rest of the market. It's not a legitimate form of money, okay? Bitcoin is the only legitimate form of money, and everything else is community-based, right? So I'm gonna explain 4 different things that a cryptocurrency entails, okay? Who controls it? It's a decentralized autonomous organization in a lot of cases. It's decentralized by mining, right? Who's the owner? Is it Satoshi Nakamoto? We don't even know who this guy is, right? It's just these random people all in a peer-to-peer network contributing to one cause. That's what cryptocurrency really is, okay? So the community effect is a big thing. Now, what controls a crypto? We got the miners. Does everybody know what a miner is? A person that contributes hash power to the security of the network. We have the exchanges. If they choose to put a cryptocurrency on their exchange, they can sit all together. All the exchanges can get together and say, hey, Bitcoin's not a form of currency. Let's take it off the exchanges. Let's take it off of CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. And nobody's going to know what it is except for obviously the true believers. But all the new people won't ever be able to see it, right? So they have a controlling effect, right? So we got the miners. We got the exchanges that control the attention to the cryptocurrencies. And then we have the coders that develop on the cryptocurrency, right? These are the people that contribute code, and if it's accepted by the community, then the community accepts it in, and then it gets upgraded, right? So you guys ever see on your app, on your phone, where it's like, oh, accept these terms and conditions, and we'll upgrade your app, or we'll give you these extra features, or we'll fix this bug? Everybody's seen that before. Actually, by the way, if you don't opt out of Amazon's web service, they're basically gonna net your internet. You guys knew about this. Who didn't know about this? I just want to make sure everybody knows. So, this is just an off tangent. If you don't, you have to opt out of it. You have to voluntarily opt out of it. You can go in your Amazon app. Do you guys have Amazon Echo? Okay. Your internet's going to be used by your neighbors. And this was forced on you. It was forced on you. If you have any Amazon device right now, they can access your internet without your permission. Okay? So, and Bitcoin is a little bit different. Instead of forcing you on something, the whole community has to agree before they can accept anything, right? And the coders have an effect because they're upgrading Bitcoin, but at the same time, the biggest element, which is the fourth part, is the community. So let me bring it back home. All we see is this all day. We see this. We see number go up. We see how much, we're refreshing our Blockfolio. How much money did I make today? How much money did I lose? So I can go on the internet and tell my friends. I think what people are sleeping on is the community element, right? We just talked about Elon Musk manipulating the price of social currency. It's the same thing with pretty much every crypto when it comes to the community. You have to band together to make sure something happens, right? And I think people miss that. So, actionable steps, right? The most obvious one, get with a community. If you're in cryptocurrency and you're by yourself, you're probably not gonna make money, right? You gotta find some type of place. There's a lot of free Telegram groups that you can join. There's a whole bunch. You guys seen the Facebook group posts? There's a whole bunch you can get to, right? Find a community to belong to. Also, make sure it's a high quality community, right? And a lot of these, you'll see it, there's like pump and dumps. These communities will get together, talk about a coin, it pumps, and then they'll sell it on you. So let's stop thinking about ourselves and the price of a coin and start thinking about how you can contribute, because that's the most predictable factor. One of the biggest reasons I started educating people in cryptocurrency, and you'll see this with a lot of the big developers in Bitcoin. One of the biggest reasons I started educating rather than just trading my portfolio, because as a day trader, these people, they're not supposed to talk to. All they do is stare at charts all day. So the most profitable thing for my portfolio would be to trade all day. That would be the most profitable thing. But you'll see, and I was at the Bitcoin convention, and they said the same thing, and it kind of solidified the fact. These guys go from like hedge fund managers, like big time hedge fund managers, and then they fall back and start educating people in crypto for some reason. They just start they'll make a book, some of them will do a course, some of them will do speaking events. Whatever the case is, people for some reason in cryptocurrency always go to spreading it. They spread it. Why? I think it's because it's the most predictable factor in cryptocurrency, right? So if you're a true believer, if you're a veteran, I highly suggest you start telling your peers, right? Because that's the most predictable thing. You tell your friends, you educate them, you can make money off consulting, you can make money off of helping them, right? Developing cash flow strategies instead of sitting there and trading the market all day. That is a form of cash flow, but you can actually predictably make money by just, spreading the word of cryptocurrency. So that's just the one element I wanted to hit on. It's just a little bit different from price, right? It's a little bit different from price. but we could also talk about trading strategies as well. Do you guys have any questions about the community aspect? I'm gonna go to a couple of different topics that's on my mind. Any questions on the community aspect of cryptocurrency? No? Can I get a water bottle? Thank you. All right, so the second part I wanted to hit home is how do you make money in the bear market, right? Can you put it up on the daily? So let me give you guys a little story. I'm sure a lot of you have felt this too. Thank you. All right, so I've been in cryptocurrency for a long time. It's been like 6 years. Can you actually, let's pull it up on the weekly and then we'll go back to the daily. Weekly, zoom out. Condense the percentages. You got this, Bailey. 2017, major run-up ICOs. Things were getting crazy. It looked like this, is what I'm trying to say. It looked a lot like this, right? It was a lot of hype. And I know a lot of people, you know, they make the thing, it's like a bubble, and then the bubble pops, right? And nobody makes money anymore. So I try to tell everybody on my channel, as well as my digital course, I tell people, look, everybody's smart until they're not. Everybody's geniuses until they're not, right? So put it on the logarithmic scale. So yeah, zoom this out, percentages on the side. Grab this ruler right here. There we go. Make it bigger. There we go. All right, you don't got the log. Just get it off log. Get it off log. Take it off log. So in 2017, everybody knows Bitcoin went to 20K. Ethereum went to like $1,400. And all along this cycle here, refresh the page. Josh, you got it? Yeah, refresh the page. There we go. All right, just leave it there. Right here, which was a major run-up, okay? What is the S&P 500 and like traditional stocks? If they're giving you 20% a year, it's like you're God, right? They're giving you like really like 7 to 15% max. So this right here, grab the ruler, drag it from here to here. Grab the ruler, drag it from here to here. This is in less than 2 years. In less than 2 years, the percentage increase of just Bitcoin, remember, I didn't get into Bitcoin. I got into Ethereum. The Ethereum's like more exaggerated. Ethereum's like 5 times bigger than this. 1,675% increase on your money, all right? So this is the point I'm trying to make. This 1,000% increase in a short period of time. This trumps all traditional investing. People cannot offer these returns. My portfolio has outcompeted the biggest hedge funds on planet Earth because of cryptocurrency. And people are so focused on this right here. Do the percentage from the top to the bottom. They're so focused on this right here. And this is exactly what happens every single time, and I'm seeing it right now, so I'm literally trying to save you guys. Ready? Everybody starts getting the crypto right here. Everyone gets into crypto right here. Why? Why are people getting into crypto right here? Hype, speculation, price. People only want to get into Bitcoin when Bitcoin's 20K. They don't want to buy Bitcoin right here. Price of Bitcoin there was 3,800. It was scary. I was selling things on eBay to buy Bitcoin. Right here. This is when you should be excited about cryptocurrency, right? So, look, we're right here now, right? We're right here. I see my channel going crazy. I see more subscribers, more interest all around here, and now, boom, they all got wrecked. And I'm sure a lot of you experienced a lot of this. But the point I'm trying to make is, guys, this is the time you get excited about crypto, right here. This is the time you start doubling down. This is the time you start buying more, right? Around here, accumulating over long periods of time, because remember, at the end of the day, What else? What other option do you have? You want to go to stocks? You're not getting 1,600% returns. This is the least volatile asset in crypto. Bitcoin is the least volatile asset in crypto, meaning you get the least amount of gains in this right here. And it's still 1,000% increases over a 3-year time. Think about that. Just think about the power of this. So if you lost money, right, in this recent correction, right, take your mind off the price. Because at the end of the day, if you just stick around, you outcompete everything. And it's just proven itself for the past 15 years. You got a question? What's a correction? Okay, so a correction is when the price, it's exactly what it sounds like. The price corrects. So right here is not the true evaluation of the currency because of the steep correction. This is overvalued on Bitcoin right now. For this time frame, right here, Bitcoin's overvalued, so the price corrects to reflect the true evaluation of Bitcoin, if that makes sense. So this is all like people just not knowing what they're doing and just buying in, right? And then the whales, the people that do know what they're doing, taking their money. And then people freaking out, and then the whales proceeding to take people's money over a long period of time, and this is the whales buying. And then bull run starting again, right? So how to make money in a bear market? A lot of strategies, adaptability. Cryptocurrency is completely different from most people think. When people try to make money in the stock market, it's a lot of technical analysis. It's a lot of like evaluating companies, looking at cash flow, revenue, so many different tactics when you're looking at a traditional stock company, right? The scary part about cryptocurrency and the reason why hodling and just sticking in it for the long run is so lucrative is because it's just completely different. There's so many other variables. There's speculation. There's social currency like Marty was talking about. There's Elon Musk. There's Jack Dorsey. There's these guys putting all this on their, like, think about it. I heard this at the Bitcoin conference yesterday. There's like 560 publicly traded companies, and only 6 of them have put Bitcoin on their balance sheet when we are in the highest inflation we have ever perceived, ever. So, do you guys know what the consumer price index is? Does everybody know what the consumer price index is? You should know what the consumer price index is. Because what it basically does, it's an aggregate of data that shows you how much your money is worth into relation to goods. So, for example, a bottle of Coke right now, a can of Coke is like $2.50. 3 years ago, it was $1. What happened? Well, what happened was the consumer price index increased in inflation, and now your money is worth less, okay? So think about it for $1 billion business. Right now, the consumer price index, I believe, what? I think it's like 7% right now. So inflation is 7%. I have $100,000. So off bat, if I do nothing, my company's losing $7,000 a year, guaranteed. That's what the current consumer price index. Let me give you a little secret. The consumer price index was manipulated in 1980 to lower the burden of Social Security. They use the consumer price index to pay Social Security. They use it, and to lower the burden, they changed the way they calculate it. This is public information. You don't take my word for it. Go look it up for yourself. They literally said, we are going to change the way the consumer price index is calculated to lower the burden of Social Security. So when they did that, they essentially took away all ruler to what your money is worth. They took away, at the end of the day, your freedom, okay? So I'll take this a little deeper. Am I confusing people? Am I confusing people? Does everybody understand? I'm going deep in this. We're getting deep, I promise. We're getting deep. So, what is money? What does money mean? Can somebody give me a good answer what money is? I want a good answer, though. You got a good answer? What's money? Money is a measuring tool of value. That's a really good interpretation. Everybody else got something better than that? What is money? I can't explain to you cryptocurrency if you don't know what money means. Proof of a transaction. That's a good point. Anybody else got something else better? You guys have, your whole life revolves around money. How could you not give me an answer right now? Why can you not give me an answer of what money is? What's money? It's a store of value. What do you got? Something to trade for something else. What do you got? Investment in your work, like to invest in long term. Okay, that's actually the best answer, to be honest. It's because you're in the course, man. Stop cheating. All right, so what is money really, though? Money is a way for you to take your time and save it, right? We're only on this earth for a limited amount of time, and then we die. Everybody knows we die, right? You guys know that we're gonna die and expire one day. Well, back in the day, you didn't have to worry about money because what you did is you just grew food, you protected yourself, right? You protected your family, you probably invested in some type of farming so you can eat, right? You hunted, and it was very kind of like a jack of all trades thing. But then we got the internet. We got all this technological advances. And it became possible because of money, right? What did money do? Well, if I'm a scientist and I want to work on, I don't know, exploring some type of scientific project, I can't worry about getting food and feeding my family. I have to rely on a farmer that does that for me, and I can trade my scientific research with the farmer, right, in the form of currency, because I get paid a certain amount, and now I can feed my family. And I don't have to worry about defending because I can pay the cops or I can pay my taxes for a public defense system, right? So money saves your time in a small vehicle, which we see as fiat. It saves your time so that you can now trade it with somebody else for their time. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So piggybacking David, right? Piggybacking what David said. Money saves your value. It saves your time in these little capsules so you can get value from somebody else that has another unique, special ability, right? This is a speech, I talk about it all the time, but we got to hit that first so I can really bring it home. So, what happens if they can now take that money and manipulate it without you knowing? They're enslaving your time. They're enslaving you through your money, right? They're essentially, instead of physically enslaving you, they're just controlling it. This is what fiat currency is. Fiat currency, they can print it, they control it, they can give it to their friends, corporate buybacks, right? They can bail people out like they did in 2008 in the financial housing crash, right? They control it, so essentially the little time capsules that you spend your whole entire life revolving your whole, everything, your whole being to this money is now controlled by a select few people in the Federal Reserve. And this is why Bitcoin is so valuable. This is why we see these price fluctuations, because when this happens in the S&P 500 and all their buddies get together and they just print money, and instead of it going like this and going down, like a normal life, this is normal. It just goes up. Pull up the S&P 500, or not the S&P 500, the Consumer Price Index. Or no, the SPX, what is it called? SPX, pull up the SPX. No, SPX. Or not the XPS, I have it on my chart. What is it called again, the valuation of the dollar? Yeah, the dollar purchasing power. Or you can use, US currency dollar index, US currency dollar index. This is basically the US dollar in comparison to the top 5 G20 currencies, the top 5 world currencies. US currency dollar index. You could just go to index right here. Type in currency dollar index. Yeah, right there. All right, now go to zoom out. Give me the month, give me the monthly. Monthly? Why does it scroll down? Oh, it's because it's on a click logarithmic scale. There you go. Make it so I can see the whole history. This doesn't look like my chart. Let's pull up the S&P 500. S&P 500. Or we can pull up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So basically what these are indexes. And what index are is like an aggregate of the top 5, do the S&P 500. All right, there we go. All right. Notice how there's these little busts right here. Scroll down so we can see a bigger history. Like, yeah, there you go. All right. Now kind of go to the back, go backwards. This is the top 500 companies in the United States, which is one of the biggest evaluation tools with pretty much every cryptocurrency investor or any investor in the world. Notice how it just continuously goes up. It's just going up forever. How is that possible? How is this possible right here? It doesn't make sense. The reason why it's possible is because of modern economics. So essentially, they have tools to make sure that this continues to go up. We know in everyday life, there's booms and there's busts. Think about it in your everyday to day, right? Think about it like when you go through the negative times or a positive time and you're confident, right? And then life smacks you in the face, things suck. And then it starts pouring and then something happens, right? And then it just compounds. In life, it's really ups and downs. It's binary, ones and zeros. Lights turn on, lights turn off. Ups and downs. But for some reason, we have this artificial growth curve all the way back since 1939, 1948, that just continuously goes up. We have these small dips that are immediately manipulated to continue to go up. This is corporate buybacks. This is the Federal Reserve printing money to make sure that people are okay over long periods of time. All right, you can just refresh it. I know, go to Bitcoin's price again. There you go, that's perfect. This is what real life looks like. This is why Bitcoin pops. Apple stock popped. There was bubbles all over the innovation forever. There's bubbles everywhere, right? You can see this with every single company. So this is what real life looks like. And if we could just weather this storm over time, eventually the gains, they come. And it's a superior form of currency that cannot be manipulated by no financial institution on planet Earth. The code is public information, open source code, to the point where anyone can look at it for themselves and verify if somebody's printing money or taking it away. It's a finite supply. This is what Bitcoin is. 21 million Bitcoin in existence, to the point where over long term, this will even out, but it'll be normal, right? And that's why it's so valuable, just in case for the new people that don't understand what cryptocurrency is in general. You guys have any questions about that? What do you got? That's theory, but yeah, there's speculation that like when Bitcoin gets big enough, the amount of money invested in Bitcoin will decrease the volatility. It's called the law of diminishing returns. So right now it's extremely volatile because it's less than 1% of all the money in traditional finance. Bitcoin, believe it or not, is extremely small, right? So over time, the money's supposed to make it less volatile. What's up?
Over time, Bitcoin stopped moving separated by itself?
Yeah, so that's I think what's a lot of people say is that Bitcoin's going to be kind of like the store of value, and then eventually like like Ethereum and the cryptocurrencies are going to be like stocks, like right now, that people speculate on and invest in. Any other questions? Anything I could fill in for you guys? I'm trying to explain. What's up, Stacy? Yeah, we're really early. We're really early. The fact that it went down excites me. So like for people, like even the people I'm talking to and the billionaires, if you go to the convention, they're all getting excited right now. They're all like hyped. They're all like, yo, I'm gonna buy more Bitcoin, I'll put more Bitcoin on my balance sheet because they know the long-term potential is like exponential. So yeah, don't buy it at the top. Don't buy it when everybody's talking about it. Buy it when nobody wants it. That's the point. Okay, that's a good chart. He's pulling up a chart here. It just shows the size of cryptocurrency in comparison to the whole market. Cryptocurrency is smaller than the 50 richest people. Go up. This is crypto. It's smaller than the biggest companies. It's smaller than the 50 richest people. It's smaller than the currencies of the world. It's smaller than gold. Just keep going. It gets crazy. This is not the original article. But cryptocurrency is really small. It's less than 2% of the world. So it's like an asymmetrical bet, right? You invest $100. The only thing you can lose is $100. But the growth potential of that $100 is 15, 20x. This is what people in penny stocks do. This is what the smartest hedge funds on planet Earth do. Good risk management, long-term asymmetrical bet. It's very lucrative, very lucrative. Any other questions? Any other questions? You guys want some trading strategies? I'm just trying to gauge the audience. What do you guys want? What's missing? What's missing from your investing? You guys are here for a reason. You're looking for an answer. What's missing from your trading strategy? Altcoins?
Question, how come we never speak about the space-based stuff, like Chia,
Web3? I do. I like DeFi better because decentralized finance is just a bigger use case right now. But over the long haul, that's gonna be the bigger one. It's gonna be like Amazon Web Services. So what he's talking about now is like a decentralized file storage. So cryptocurrency has the name crypto, but there's so much more to it. The technology behind it is astronomical. Basically, the whole internet is going to be taken from where it's at and then put on the blockchain.
So you're saying you believe in the space-based stuff more than you believe in everything else?
I believe in DeFi right now because it's the most tangible. And then like the file storage, I'm speculating that it's going to be bigger because it's the internet. So it should be bigger, but that's a long-term one, man. That's like a 20-year. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Probably like 2 or 3 more cycles. Web 3.0 will be built. I mean, the Web 3.0 is being built faster than the regular internet. That's a good question. So he's saying there's so many different cryptocurrencies being printed. Okay, so that's a really good question because that's why Bitcoin's so valuable in the first place, is because there's a finite supply. So I don't think it will actually hurt Bitcoin. I actually think it's going to help Bitcoin. I think people are going to start realizing that a lot of these altcoins are kind of similar to like traditional stocks, and they're going to flock to the finite supply, the store of wealth. I think that's a big thing. And a lot of big guys were touching that on the Bitcoin conference. Go ahead, David, and then we got you next. What's up, David?
So does Ethereum's utility make it a better store of value than Bitcoin?
No, I don't think so. I'm a Bitcoin maxi that likes to make money. So like fundamentally, like I've always said, just increase your Bitcoin because that's the only thing with real tangible value. That's the only one that like actually has a unique product. Like I told you, it's 95% speculation with pretty much everything. I think Monero has value of fungibility, but I also think that it's going to be hard to off-ramp Monero, and Bitcoin has the off-ramp. Bitcoin has the off-ramp. They're in on the balance sheets of like major politicians, billionaires. They're not really accepting Monero for that exact reason. It has pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do it all the time on decentralized protocols. I don't even use like the centralized ones. So like I really believe in it. I'm like an actual user of decentralized finance. So yeah, we have a staking strategy that we use. If I were to stake, I would do stable coins. You can get like 15 to 20% APY per year off stable coins that do not move with volatility. That's what I would recommend. The liquidity thing you have to have money for. Doing what? Yeah. It's lucrative, but I think it's way more lucrative if you have money. If you know, if you can liquidity provide with like 100K, 50K, that's when like the serious exponential gains happen. And a lot of times they force you to hold the token of their choosing and they don't appreciate. So you lose off of the coin's appreciation in comparison to like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And then the APY doesn't add up. You know what I mean? So a lot of liquidity providers, they're really smart. They'll try to find the ones that appreciate with value and the percentage gains. And it's really lucrative if you just have a lot of money. That's what I've noticed. If you can just move that a lot of money in different positions very fast. What's up, buddy? Do I leverage trade? Not right now, but when there's decreasing in volatility, I probably will. I just can't do it in the height of the bull run. It's like scary. Because I mean, you see, they get liquidated like very fast. People get liquidated like you'll see people put long positions in, price goes up, everybody makes money, and then they will look at the long positions and purposely dump the market to liquidate everybody, and then the market goes right back up. So it's hard for me to, you got a question? Go ahead. Why do I prefer USDC over USDT? It's kind of like a necessary evil, but USDT has a big history of like fraudulent activity, sketchy background. USDC, I know it's kind of like ironic I'm saying this, but they're like really close to the Fed. So if I were, I mean, it's my money, right? Like I'm not gonna gamble, right? So if things went down, I'd rather have my money close to the Fed versus a random institution that I don't know if they actually have any tangible, you know what I mean? But USDT has the biggest trading volume. So from a trader, if I was ever to become like a day trader, I would use USDT for that reason. Yeah, especially if the market like keeps continuing to go down, yeah, for sure. We'll do leverage trading. Leverage trading is just the same thing as like the way I do it. It's just a little bit more risky, so you have to be more on point. That's all it is. And we might even short the market. Who says we can't short Bitcoin and make money on the way down? I know people are already doing that. So yeah, that's a big one. Any other questions? What's up, Johnny? What's up?
Somebody asked like the bull run question already, like for the end of the year, bull run, like your sentiment on.
Oh, okay. I'll give my sentiment. All right. So market crash. Bring up the Bitcoin's price again. All right. So this is a bull run right here. It's hard. It's really hard for me to say that we're going to continue. I will say that. It's really hard to say that from this depreciation right here. It's pretty big. It's like 56%. Measure it. That's that's bad. That's not like, no, right here. So right here. Man, this feedback is annoying. Oh, no, you're right. You had it. So this has never happened in Bitcoin's history ever. That's 38%, and if you bring it to the bottom, the candlestick to where you had it before, it's about 52%. That's never happened in Bitcoin's history. I do think things are changing. I do think that all the data science models that people are looking at, pretty much all the consumable information about cryptocurrency, just the fact that we have more now in comparison to 2017, it makes it tricky. Because now it's not like, oh, let's look at, what is it called, the S2FX model, or the big like data science models. Now it's not like, those are becoming less accurate because everybody's manipulating it, right? The whales are coming in, they're dumping on us. So my gut is saying, just because I know this is whale manipulation, we quantified it. It was clearly a select few people dumping, just a select few people, and then people just getting scared. All the new people that didn't know what they're doing, selling, and liquidations. This is very, very manipulated. So I do think in my gut, just for that reason, the bull run's gonna continue. But when I'm saying continue, I mean like 2 years. I do not mean, in the next 6 months, I highly suggest you hedge risk. Hedge risk. Do not close your eyes and let the market go. It's not the way it works. Yeah, but I'm gonna hedge risk, if that makes sense. You guys get that from my YouTube videos all the time. What's up? 1,500. 1,500, 1,600. If it hits 1,600, I'm going all in. I'm selling the Tesla. Huh? Am I what?
Are you saying we're heading to 1,500?
I think that's the worst case scenario is like a 1,500 ETH, yeah. That's pretty bad, but it's the truth. I think the worst case scenario is a 25K Bitcoin in the next 2 months and a $1,500 ETH. I think it's kind of unlikely. I think it's more likely that Bitcoin reverses at $3,000. Or 30,000, not 3,000, 30,000. Huh? Short term. These guys don't play no games. Put it on the daily. They're not playing games. They will take your money. They will take your money. It's a completely different ball game. I think right here, what is this? 30,000, boom. Under right here is where Bitcoin's headed. So we have like a right around this range. I don't think it can get lower than that though. I think it'll be really hard to get lower than that. Right here. 30,000 is a very big psychological number as well. So if you don't have any crypto or you want a dollar cost average, put limit orders in at $30,000 and then put more limit orders in at about 20K, because 20K is the all-time high of last year. So if there was going to be a support, that's where it would be. Pull up ETH's price. Go pull up ETH. Yeah, same thing. Scroll down. Right around this range here. You know, you see me calling 1,500. It's for a reason. Support. Big time support right here, which is like also similar to the all-time high of 2017, 2018. Ethereum went to $1,400. So those are really good ranges because I don't think like people from last cycle are going to get out. I don't think it can go lower than last cycle. If it goes lower than last cycle, oh man, it's going to take a long time for it to come back. Any other questions? The Wyckoff chart? I think it's okay, because it makes perfect sense. Okay, the Wyckoff chart basically was created by the guy's last name, Wyckoff, and he created a chart that basically quantifies manipulation. So this guy came from a traditional background, and he saw that the whales would manipulate everybody, and so he created a distribution pattern. I'm not going to pull it up, it's really complex, but just to make it simple, he put this pattern out so that people don't get manipulated by big money. I think the fact that it went viral, it doesn't make it accurate anymore. The fact that everybody knows about it, think about what the whales are thinking, right? The whales are like, okay, let's manipulate them. All right, now they're educated. Now this video has 1.5 million views. Let's not follow it, right? If you just think about what they would do, like what would you do in a situation if your goal was to take money from the unknowing? Just think about it that way. That's the best way to think about it. Instead of like a YouTuber just showing you a chart all the time. Once it went viral, it's off the table. I don't take it into consideration. But if you knew about it before it went viral, then you could have made some good predictions. So that's my thoughts on that. What's up?
You say it hits support and bounce back. What does that mean by support?
Support, good question. So support is basically a place, as you can see right here, where price went, boom, it supported, and then increased. So it's basically any place where there's price history, and it could go the other way around. So this is considered resistance. This is such a small, put it on the weekly again, I'll show you. Support and resistance is very simple. Wherever the price bounces off of multiple times. And then resistance is the same thing. Put it on the weekly. Yeah. So, I'm gonna go back. I want to show more price history. Go to the back. Like scroll to the left. There you go. That's support. That's support because the price trended around this range for a long period of time, right? Clearly, there's some type of resistance around here because this was the all-time high, and then you can see here, it didn't just blow by. There was like resistance, a little bit of resistance, and then the resistance turned into support and it took off. So that's like a quick tutorial of support resistance. Any other questions? Support's basically where price converges and makes support and it continues higher. What's it?
What's making it constant?
People like buying, yeah. So think about it, like you bought like Ethereum at $1,000, and then Ethereum's price goes to, you're not gonna sell it, and most people won't sell it unless they're in profit. So if the price comes back down, let's say you bought Ethereum at $20,000, right? And then the price comes back down to $20,000, you have to make the decision if you're gonna sell it or not. So it's just people like making that decision. That's what it is. People making a decision back and forth if they're gonna sell or buy. Yep. Any other questions? It's hot in here, man. Any other questions? You guys are good? All right. That's it, man. Let's network. That's like the end of this. If you guys have any personal questions, just feel free to reach out. If you want more information on what we're doing as a company, Marty, we got Johnny. Where's Johnny at? Johnny's right there. Yeah, just feel free to reach out to them, guys. Thanks for coming out and supporting the cause. We're going to have much bigger events in the future. But yeah, let me know if you guys have anything. If you don't get with it, you will be left behind. All right, guys. Yes, sir.